you can say about moving up. Praveen, any comments from you?
Just a couple of things from my perspective. To retain employee, I think it's same challenge everywhere. Of course, when market is growing, that brings extra dimension. When there are a lot of opportunities, then people do choose the best, what suits to them. What we have worked with our service providers is looking in three areas: empowerment, enrichment, and recognition. And when I talk about empowerment, is making sure that they are actually not just doing tasks, they are fully part of the process. The enrichment part is that making sure that the person who's working understands the context and is given proper feedback. So person understand that whatever the tasks are being done, how are they being successfully implemented. So there's a sense of pride that this work, which is being done, actually end up in product, what I'll bring up. At the end of the day, engineering is about product. So even if it is a task, where does it end up? So that's the part of the enrichment portion of it. And finally, recognition, when something good is done, that must be recognized, the feedback about it. So those are the few things which, as a customer, we can help in terms of retaining the talent.
I think I agree with Praveen and also Tom. The market dynamics of supply and demand. You just have to accept it, but you also have to learn to manage it. And I think part of the dilemma that we have is because a lot of the work is low-end work. Sometimes it tends to bore the people, and so then they get motivated by other things like the desire to just get more money, as opposed to just learn more or become broader in their experience. So I think this idea of enriching the jobs by moving up the value chain is critical. That's where I think longer term we're going to be able to reduce the attrition. And I think also scale is important. If you have a very small center in India and you're trying to retain the people, it becomes difficult to provide them the growth path. So as you develop scale in the operation within India, then you can offer them the growth opportunities within India, and then potentially also in sending them out to locations around the world if they truly have the capability to do so. So scale needs to be developed relatively quickly, and then job enrichment, I guess, are the two factors.
Thank you, Anil. Are there any other questions, please? Yeah, Hashish, last word. What's the internal backlash in terms of getting work to India for large companies?
Well, I think one of the things, I think Vikas mentioned this in his presentation, the companies that, I guess at least my company, I can speak for myself, the companies developed around products, that they were able to create and supply to the market. And products were created by engineering, developed by engineering. So engineering has been treated as the crown jewels of the company. It's what we want to retain. That's what we are. So when you say you're going to offshore it or send it to a vendor, there is natural resistance to that because it's like saying, we're not going to do what we are all about. Send that out to somebody else. And of course, it does get personal when people are involved, people that lose jobs in high-cost markets. So I think what you do is you don't announce that you're going to, everything is going to China or India. You just do it in an incremental way. And then people start to see the benefit of that. The other thing is, yes, there is backlash, but we also need to be responsive to the stock market. We have our investors saying we need to reduce our asset base and improve our return on net assets, which means we don't want to own a lot of assets and try to have suppliers provide a service to us as opposed to us investing in large technical centers or large equipment investment and so on. So both of those things are helping. So I think you need to do it gradually rather than try to make sort of bold moves.
Thank you, Anil. I would assume that would be the last question. We are just about running out of time. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the panel, starting with our lead speaker, Vikas Sehgal. It was Vikas who took this initiative, and it was only because of Vikas that we've had all the other panelists joining us today. He took all the effort in terms of inviting all of them and facilitating this visit or the trip of them into this particular session. Thank you very much, Vikas, and also thank you for setting the stage right, giving us the right perspective of where we stand on the auto industry. I'd like to thank all the panelists for sharing their experiences. They're all individuals who have run very successful offshoring, outsourcing engineering in India. Look, I'm a convert. I didn't use the word called engineering services. I said engineering in India. And I think we'll continue to carry that forward. I think they also painted to us several opportunities that are there. So it's up to us in terms of how we convert some of the resources that we have in terms of bringing more amount of technology expertise to them, training them more amply, putting the right processes, giving them the right tools, giving them the technology. That's effectively what will make us more successful. Again, thanks for the audience for listening to all of us, and thank you again.